Join me as we dive deep into the latest conversation surrounding one of the most famous families in the world, the Beckhams, and the unexpected celebrity perspective that has people talking. Marc Anthony. From subtle comments to broader reflections on fame, family, and public pressure, we're unpacking what's being said, what's not being said, and why this story continues to capture so much attention. At first glance, Marc Anthony and the Beckham family may seem like two completely separate worlds. Marc Anthony is a global music icon, celebrated for his powerful voice, emotional performances, and decades-long influence on Latin music and pop culture. The Beckham family, on the other hand, represents a unique blend of sports, fashion, and celebrity royalty. Yet despite their different paths, both share one defining reality: a life lived almost entirely in the public eye. David Beckham rose to international fame as one of the most recognizable footballers in history. His skill on the field, combined with his global appeal, turned him into more than just an athlete. He became a brand. Victoria Beckham followed a different route to fame, first capturing hearts as Posh Spice in the Spice Girls, before reinventing herself as a respected fashion designer. Together, they built an image of success, style, and unity that has fascinated fans for decades. But behind the polished appearances and carefully curated public moments, the Beckham family has always been the subject of intense speculation. Like many high-profile families, they've faced rumors, controversies, and constant scrutiny. Every public appearance, every social media post, and every perceived absence is analyzed and debated. Recently, conversations around the Beckham family have intensified. Online discussions and media speculation suggest there may be underlying tensions within the family, particularly involving extended family dynamics and evolving relationships. While no official statements have confirmed specific claims, the ongoing speculation has been enough to keep fans watching closely. The nature of this so-called family drama appears to center around differences in priorities, boundaries, and expectations, all common challenges in families, but amplified when fame is involved. When a family lives under a global microscope, even minor disagreements can quickly turn into headline news. Victoria Beckham, known for maintaining a highly controlled and polished public image, has been a focal point of some of these discussions. Her role as both a businesswoman and a mother has often placed her in the spotlight, and any suggestion of internal conflict naturally draws attention. Some fans believe the rumors have been exaggerated, while others think they reflect deeper challenges that come with balancing personal relationships and a global brand. David Beckham, meanwhile, has largely remained publicly composed, continuing his professional endeavors and public appearances without directly addressing speculation. This silence has only added to curiosity, with fans attempting to read between the lines of interviews, photos, and social media activity. This is where Marc Anthony's perspective becomes especially interesting. Marc Anthony has spent decades navigating fame at the highest level. His career success has often been matched by intense interest in his personal life, including relationships, marriages, and family matters. Over the years, he has spoken candidly about the emotional toll of living under constant public attention. When Marc Anthony recently shared thoughts that many believe relate to situations like the Beckham families, people took notice. Rather than addressing specific rumors or individuals, Marc spoke broadly about the importance of family boundaries, emotional health, and knowing when to step away from public noise. He emphasized that fame has a way of distorting reality. According to him, situations that would normally remain private can quickly become exaggerated when outsiders feel entitled to an explanation. In his view, maintaining a sense of privacy isn't about secrecy, it's about self-preservation. Marc also touched on how families in the public eye often face unrealistic expectations. Fans want perfection, media outlets want drama, and somewhere in between, real people are trying to maintain genuine relationships. His comments reflected the idea that not every issue deserves a public response, and not every silence indicates conflict. For many listeners, Marc Anthony's words felt grounded and reflective. Rather than contributing to gossip, he seemed to offer a reminder that fame does not eliminate human complexity. If anything, it magnifies it. This perspective resonated strongly because Marc Anthony has lived through very public relationship chapters of his own. His experiences have given him insight into how narratives can be shaped without full context, and how damaging that can be for everyone involved. What makes his involvement particularly compelling is that he didn't claim insider knowledge. He didn't suggest he knew what was happening behind closed doors. Instead, he spoke as someone who understands the pressure of being constantly observed and judged. The Beckham family's situation, whatever the full truth may be, highlights a larger conversation about modern celebrity culture. Today, families aren't just famous for what they do, they're famous for how they interact, how they appear online, and how accessible they seem to the public. Social media has changed the rules entirely. Moments that were once private are now shared instantly, and moments that aren't shared can spark just as much speculation. When a family member doesn't appear in a photo, or skips a public event, people notice and assumptions follow. For the Beckhams, maintaining a balance between public presence and personal privacy has always been a challenge. Their global fame means that even the smallest shifts in behavior can become talking points. And when fans feel emotionally invested, the pressure only increases. Marc Anthony's reflections subtly point to the cost of that pressure. He suggested that stepping back, setting boundaries, and choosing silence can sometimes be the healthiest response, even if it leaves questions unanswered. In many ways, his comments reframed the narrative. Instead of asking, "What's wrong?" he encouraged people to ask, "What does peace look like for those involved?" The idea that not all family issues are meant for public consumption is something many fans found refreshing. In a culture driven by constant updates and instant explanations, choosing privacy can feel almost rebellious. As speculation continues, the Beckham family has remained largely consistent in their public approach. They continue to attend events, support their projects, and share select moments, while avoiding direct engagement with rumors. This strategy suggests a deliberate effort to control the narrative by not feeding it. Marc Anthony's perspective supports that approach. His comments imply that responding to every rumor often creates more noise rather than clarity. Silence, while frustrating to outsiders, can be a form of protection. The ongoing interest in this story also reveals how deeply people connect with celebrity families. The Beckhams have been part of pop culture for so long that many fans feel they've grown up alongside them. That emotional connection makes any hint of discord feel personal. But as Marc Anthony subtly reminded listeners, visibility does not equal access. Watching someone's life unfold does not mean understanding it fully. At its core, this story isn't just about the Beckhams or Marc Anthony. It's about the way fame reshapes family dynamics, how public narratives are created, and how difficult it can be to protect something as personal as relationships when the world is watching. Whether the rumored tensions are real, exaggerated, or misunderstood, one thing remains clear: navigating family life under global scrutiny is extraordinarily complex. Marc Anthony's comments didn't solve the mystery, but they added depth to the conversation. They reminded audiences that behind every headline is a human story, layered, emotional, and rarely simple. As fans continue to speculate, and media outlets continue to analyze, the situation remains unresolved in the public eye, and perhaps that's exactly how the people involved want it. Sometimes, the most meaningful statements are the ones that don't reveal everything. And sometimes, silence speaks louder than any headline ever could. Now it's your turn. What do you think is really happening behind the scenes? Do you believe Marc Anthony was indirectly referencing situations like the Beckham families? Or was he speaking from a more universal place of experience? Share your thoughts below. And if you want to continue exploring the stories behind celebrity headlines, be sure to check out our next video, where we break down even more moments that have everyone talking. Thanks for the watching and subscribe.